Goals, a rare commodity on Tranmere's travels. They've only scored 4 on enemy territory in 10 games this season. Well, the latest young Czech from the Canaries Academy is England under-21 winger Darren Eadie. The club who've sold more £1 million players than any other expect great things of the 19-year-old. After a 3-game absence, he lends width to the Premiership side, who also have problems scoring goals. Mark Robins, formerly of Manchester United and Oldham, partners play anywhere, Rob Newman in attack. The referee with 19 years experience in the middle behind him tonight is Brian Hill. So Tranmere Rovers, with the worst away scoring record in Division 1, take on the team with one of the best home records in the Premiership. Norwich City are unbeaten here at Carrow Road this season, and they're going to provide formidable opposition for Tranmere Rovers, one of those great northwest giant killers. Tranmere have come down here in luxury style, stayed overnight, had a game of golf to acclimatise themselves to the very wet Norfolk area. The pitch is in perfect condition for a cracking game of football tonight. Flicking the ball on. Gary Stevens knows all about Norwich City from his Everton days, of course. Nudge in the back. Spencer Pryor, who's been earmarked to mark John Aldridge tonight. One of the many youngsters in this Norwich team. Of course, they nurture them, then sell them on. Newman looking for Adams, who comes in from his wing. Taking on Steve Mungle, likes a shot at goal, and that isn't a bad shot, which brings the first save of the night from Eric Nixon. And Neil Adams is looking on song. That's a couple of times he's had a run at the Tranmere defence. And that was probably as good as you could expect from that kind of distance. He had to be quick-footed, and he forced the save. That's the main thing. Neil Adams has scored 2 goals this season. That makes him the second top scorer at Carrow Road. John Dean, who's made the Mike Who around Carrow Road, taken Norwich up into 7th position in the Premiership this season. My God, whose distribution is very important in Norwich's team play. So is the finishing of Robbins, who had 2 shots in quick succession then. And John McGreal has got his work cut out. Mark Robbins 100% fit again after a couple of injury-prone seasons. Still only 24, one of the brightest young strikers around. Newman laying it off to Mike Milligan. Now Crook. Good little dummy. St. Irons. Eadie. This is Norwich's style. Play the ball around. Get the ball to the wingers. Good cross from Eadie. Here's a chance for Newman. More than a chance. He maybe should have done better. But that was classic Norwich City play, wasn't it? Moving the ball around midfield. Slow, and then very quick from the little number 11, Eadie. And Newman had to spin off his marker and couldn't quite get the balance required to get the shot on goal. He's a midfield player, turned centre-half, turned centre-forward in the last few games, and not doing bad in his unusual role, Rob Newman. A lot of silly, niggly little fouls going on out there. Tallest man in the area for Tranmere, Chris Malkin, stands 6'3", not known for his heading ability though. Up he goes, causes Pryor a few problems. Gary Stevens fancies a shot at goal, and that wasn't far over the bar. Well, he's been a successful player in his time, Gary Stevens, but I'll bet you his scoring ratio isn't that great. That was arguably the best shot at goal that we've seen in the game so far, and we've had quite a few. Curling the ball. I think Gunn had it covered though. Adams taking on Mungle, and getting a little carried away. Steve Mungle had Liam Macari and Jim Beglin in raptures on Sunday with his performance. The man now in his 37th year. Aldridge, he's 36, to John Morrissey. There's a chance for Irons. Picks his spot, and does he? Well, he made that look so easy. What a goal! A fantastic goal from Kenny Irons. He made it look so simple. The ball came to him from Johnny Morrissey. He was in so much space as he was a few moments ago, but this time he just picked out the spot and he hit bullseye. I was saying before that he tends to turn it on for the TV cameras, and he proved my point. Brian Gunn just stood and watched, he couldn't believe it. Admiration from the goalkeeper, and admiration from everybody who's seen that goal. That's got them talking on the Tranmere bench. John King's going to have to keep him in the side now, because Irons is only a replacement really for Liam O'Brien, playing his way permanently into the manager's plans. Darryl Such coming from that full-back position, having a little go at the Tranmere defence. Robbins looking to the far post, and, well, you have to say in conclusion that Darren Eadie wasn't quite tall enough. He did well to get up that high, the smallest man on the pitch. It was asking a lot of him to get the header on goal, but he had Eric Nixon moving his feet rather swiftly. Crook. Newman slips. That wasn't what he intended, but he's set up Eadie for a chance. In turn, sets up Crook. A little lack of confidence from the Norwich winger there. It's very dangerous at the moment. The shot comes in from Crook. He made good contact with it, but I think really from that kind of distance he was looking for a deflection to cause Eric Nixon real trouble in the Tranmere goal. Quite a good 30 yards out, and those only go in when it takes a couple of deflections and wrong foots the goalkeeper. This is Adams. Gets in an early cross. Robbins plays it down to Newman. Oh, good shot, good save. Good football all round. Well, for a big man who stands, what, 6'2", and the goalkeeper who stands 6'4", both of them swivel their bodies rather elegantly then. Newman's shots, Eric Nixon's save. And it remains 1-0 to Tranmere. Eric Nixon taking charge of things back there. And 32 years of age now for goalkeepers. He's coming into his prime. Spencer Pryor. Norwich changing their tack, but Tranmere still able to deal with the long ball. Newman. Better move this from Norwich as Eadie goes in with Eric Nixon. Nixon came off his line, and tracking Eadie all of the way was Steve Mungle. But it was Eadie again, the most dangerous man on the field for Norwich City. Lovely pass through from Mark Robbins, and Eric Nixon, well, his fingertips had to be at their most precise. Adams on his favoured right foot. That's a good cross, teasing the goalkeeper, keeping it well away from him. Robbins can't keep his balance. McGreal half clears. Robbins back to Milligan again. Safe ball wide to Adams. They're lining up in the centre if he can get the cross in. McGreal lets the ball go, which is a big mistake because Robbins was behind him. Good football this from Norwich. Can they get a shot on goal? Saving tackle from Garnett. Still not cleared. Shot again. Pat Nevin has to get the ball away. Frustrating moments for the Norwich fans. It has to be said. Impeccable defending from Tranmere Rovers, throwing bodies again in the way of the ball. We saw it on Sunday against Oldham Athletic. And again, Sean Garnett getting his sliding challenge in the way of the shot and keeping Tranmere's shutout intact. Long ball forward, but Stevens underneath it well. Morrissey. And another late tackle. The referee, well, he's keen not to book too many players. I think insisting there that the Norwich player, who indeed injured himself, Mark Robbins, goes off the pitch for treatment. Serves you right, you shouldn't have committed the foul, he says. Robbins coming in with a late tackle, and the considerable weight of John Morrissey falling on top of it. Ryan Gunn must feel a little hard done by. He's not had a save to make in the first half and didn't even bother diving for Kenny Irons' goal. Whistles around Carrow Road. I think some of them are from the tea ladies. The referee has played plenty of stoppage time, and the boos are not for the quality of football, certainly not the quality of goal. Kenny Irons' Coca, the man that John King loves to call his Tasmanian devil, has given those travelling Tranmere fans something to sing about during the first half. Half-time scoreline is Norwich City 0, Tranmere Rovers 1. It's Norwich City to kick off the second half, and they're defending a proud record against Tranmere Rovers in that they've never lost against the Wirral club. And Tranmere, with that one-goal advantage, will be keen to hang on to it and increase it, because the last thing they want in the Coca-Cola Cup is the dreaded penalty shootout. A few of their players still have nightmares about last year's experience against Aston Villa, and neither Ian Nolan nor Liam O'Brien, who missed the penalties, are involved in the team tonight. John Aldridge just ghosting around. We've seen very little of Tranmere's Irish international striker, just reserving himself. He quite clearly isn't 100% fit. He's just going to be on hand should the pieces fall to him, but it's Norwich who are desperate to get back in the game and get their act together. The fans have been having a real go at them since the game got going, and John Dean doesn't look overly confident. I think he's saying his prayers down there, the way his hands are clasped. Milligan for Norwich. Thinking about the shot is Ian Crook. He thinks the pass is a better option. Eadie lets it go, and a rather adventurous scissor kick from the centre half, Spencer Pryor. When you're 6'3", 6'4", and have a 14-stone frame, it's not quite as easy to get yourself into the Mark Hughes tight position. Spencer Pryor tried his best. But he got in a bit of a tangle, really, and Nixon didn't have the save to make. But he's back now in a defensive position, keeping a track on Aldridge. Irons has scored one. Can he score a second? Great shot by Irons. And Brian Gunn just flung himself at that and hoped for the best. And he got the best, but the danger's still not over. Morrissey is onside. Can he steady himself for the cross? A fine saving tackle. But Brian Gunn certainly keeping his side in the game. An injury gives us a little break in play. The hearts of the Norwich defenders are still in their mouths. Kenny Irons is having a cracking game, linking up well with Aldridge. And boy, does he hit a ball. He curled one in the first half, and that one was just sheer velocity. And an excellent save from Brian Gunn. Aldridge, don't think that was meant to be the dummy, but he set Malkin away. And Aldridge will be keen to take this throw with just him and Malkin, 2-on-2, but decides against it. We're 1-0 up. The Tranmere fans on that near side of the field, offering a little bit of advice as well. It's been a long journey for the travelling support. They've had to take a day off work. It's a good 6-hour journey. Irons, good cross. Is it a second? It is a second. It's Pat Nevin's second goal of the season, and the wee man crept in from nowhere to give Tranmere a very big advantage. And those fans who've taken the day off work now feel it's worthwhile. Who was the instigator? None other than Kenny Irons, the man that set up the first. Malkin went flying in, and Pat Nevin crept in. John King's side are ready to pull off another shock. One of the great managers in English football, John King, and surprisingly only 18-1 for the Everton job. Well, that with his former chairman in charge there, who knows all about his abilities. Maybe at 57 is a little too old. Tranmere, who we were saying before, have only scored 4 goals on their travels, have scored 2 in one night on top-class opposition's ground. And they're containing Norwich City all right, letting them have pot shots from distance. Neil Adams can shoot from there all night. He's never going to beat Eric Nixon. 30 yards out and from a very acute angle. John Dean deciding to throw on one of his European competition heroes in Jeremy Goss, and taking off Ian Crook, the captain, who's had a bit of a miserable night really. Jeremy Goss, who's having a bit of a crisis confidence. He feels he's playing bad, though the manager doesn't agree. He's really talked himself out of the side recently. Such Newman. Adams as Norwich drive forward. Goss's first touch. Little flick on. Newman starts to steady himself. A header and a goal for Spencer Pryor. Well, Norwich City threw everything into attack, including their centre-half, and he's pulled a goal back for them. Now we have a cut tie on our hands. It was again wing play. Again, it was the big men causing problems in the box. Pryor with a bit of head tennis, and then he had a head volley which Eric Nixon from about 6 yards out stood a little chance with. But it's still a shock on our hands. It's still Tranmere 2, Norwich 1. Tranmere all of a sudden looking a little bit nervous. Norwich have got into their stride, but Eady shows his inexperience. Anger in the centre. 2 players have made good runs, and the teenager chose to be a little bit greedy. He had, as you can see, going to the far post, Robbins and Newman waiting for the cross to be delivered, but he saw a non-existent gap at the near post. Now Eady. There's always a buzz when this youngster gets the ball. Oh, it takes 2 deflections, and it's more than a buzz. The place has come alive. He'll take the credit for the goal, and poor old John McGreal will probably take the blame for the deflection. Well, this little man, Darren Eady, is the player they've chosen to replace Rule Fox at Carrow Road. It took 1, it took 2 very cruel deflections, especially if you're a Tranmere fan. And with 61 minutes gone, it's all level. John McGreal has had an excellent game, but he is prone to the odd own goal. Scored 1 at both ends of the field. I remember against Leicester City last year. Still no change of expression from the Norwich manager. 2-2 the score. At the moment, Norwich with the advantage in a massive volume around Carrow Road. As Robbins goes up, Tranmere are getting run a little ragged at the back. They seemed to be cruising when they were 2-0 up, but now they're in real trouble. Ball bounces kindly for Brannan. Aldridge is away. Leave it, leave it. Shouts Brian Gunn. Ball left for Robbins, but Garnett comes out of defence. Robbins now gets it. Milligan. Wild challenge from Brannan. It's getting a little bit out of hand down there. Two players snarling at each other, and Brannan gets the yellow card. I think more for the challenge than something he said. It was a bit of a tangle he got himself in with Mike Milligan. So again, the big men go forward, and Tranmere will have to keep an eye on Spencer Pryor, who scored that goal which brought Norwich back into the game. But this time Tranmere get their act together at the back. Eadie, he swapped wings, which is bad news for Steve Mungall. He bounces off Mungall. He finds Milligan. He finds Bowen. Have a shot, cry the crowd. Too far out. Nice play. Chance for a third. It is a third. Nixon looks absolutely shell-shocked, and John Polston blows kisses to the crowd. A game which looks beyond Norwich now looks as though it could be theirs. This is cup football for you. John Polston comes up from the back, and Eric Nixon stood a little chance with that one. The grass cutter trickling inside the far post, but their willingness to have a shot has brought them back into the game and given them the lead. 3-2 to Norwich. Nevin. Morrissey struggling with injury. He has to play through the pain barrier to bring Tranmere back into the game. He's got around two defenders. Requires a good cross. It's not a bad cross. Here's a chance. And the first time that John Aldridge has had a sniff of goal, he slips at just the wrong moment. And John Morrissey taking on two defenders. That was a beautiful cross. And Aldridge, well, he must have thought he'd got the one chance and the one goal, but the soggy pitch let him down. Nevin's cross should have been Brian Dunn's ball. He hollered for it, but it's played as far as irons. Players slipping and sliding all over the place. Malkin coming in from the far post, getting over the top of Pryor. But Pryor had put a large enough obstacle in his way. Newman beats Garnett in the air, nods it down to Robbins, who finds Adams. The Norwich fans get onto their feet as Adams is sent sprawling, and Steve Mungall, I think, knows that that is an automatic yellow card. No doubt about it. He got in the way. He maybe couldn't get out of the way, but made little effort to atone for it. And Mungall gets a yellow card, and Norwich have a free kick in a very dangerous position. It's a surprising position that Eric Nixon's taken right behind his wall. Well, it was perfect positioning, and again. And that could have been a Norwich City fourth. Tranmere living dangerously. Very dangerously. Well, I wondered about Eric Nixon's positioning there. He was standing right behind the wall, but as it happened, he got a good view of little Darren Eadie's shot. Tranmere need to find this third goal. They can score goals. 5 times this season they've hit 3 or more away. 3 or more goals. Never away from home, though, as another yellow card is to be brandished. Neil Adams checking back with Pat Nevin, catching his ankle rather painfully. Free kick played in, Aldridge going up there, but it doesn't drop for him. It's not been his night. Feeling Eric Nixon could have let that go, but he wasn't taking any risks. The goalkeeper put in trouble by his own full-back. Robins cross, and that's the fourth. Tranmere's dream becomes a nightmare. Rob Newman finishes it off. And sloppy defending, it has to be said. Tranmere had left the ball thinking that Robins was going to let it go out. He had no such intention. A simple cross and a simple goal in the end. Goes Aldridge. We've seen very little of him tonight. He's had one half chance when he lost his feet in the slippery surface. The referee brings Tranmere's agony to an end. It was an evening which started most pleasurably, and the fans have really changed their tune here. Tranmere were 2 goals up, and then Spencer Pryor, the big number 5, came forward from the back. And then the cruelest blow of all, Darren Eadie having a shot from, 25 yards out, cruelly deflected twice, and eventually coming off the back of that man there, Tranmere number 4, John McGreal. Inspired substitution, and the game was changed. The tide turned in favour of Norwich City. Tranmere have great aspirations of getting into the Premiership. If they want to play with the big boys, they've learnt an important lesson tonight. They've lost to a top club, Norwich City, by 4 goals to 2.
Well, a lot for Tranmere to consider there on the journey home. Only takes them 6 hours. Plenty from Jim as well after the break, and those serious career-threatening allegations against the Liverpool goalkeeper, the former Liverpool goalkeeper, Bruce Grobbelaar. Rob McCaffrey.
Anfield tonight, match night. Security as tight as you like. Everybody aware of the Bruce Grobbelaar story.
Well, talk about a strange mood outside Anfield tonight, perhaps understandable because of the Bruce Grobbelaar allegations, which have really gripped everybody here at the Chelsea match. So much so that they're not allowing any interviews whatsoever inside the famous Shankly gates.
Outside, the mood was one of support for the former keeper.
He was too dedicated at his game. He was an out-and-out footballer. He didn't want nothing like that.
I think all the couple just stay behind Grobbelaar, because like you say, until it's proven, you know what I mean, you've got to read into it, and everything you read in the paper you don't believe.
It's 5 o'clock, I'm Graham White.
The story's been hot all day, dominating the local news bulletins, and no wonder. Bruce Grobbelaar's been a Liverpool hero.
Allegations of bribery and betting against former Liverpool goalkeeper Bruce Grobbelaar.
Inside Anfield, wherever you look, Bruce Grobbelaar stares back at you. He's featured in so many wonderful moments for the club. The former Liverpool captain Phil Thompson was giving his views to the media this evening, and he took time out to talk to us.
The people of Liverpool will support Bruce. They'll support him to the hilt, obviously, until the facts are known, everything comes out in the open. And I think if things do go against Bruce Grobbelaar, people will be very, very disappointed.
When the Liverpool players arrived at Anfield this evening, the official line was no comment, but then no wonder.
John, what about the Bruce Grobbelaar story today?
The players obviously very aware, but very focused too, just as their manager would expect.
Has it affected the players?
I hope not. We've got a game to play, and that's the most important thing. I mean, we've got to get on with it. In fact, it shouldn't affect any of the players. It's basically got nothing to do with them.
Has it affected you?
No, we've got a big game on, and that's the most important.
It hadn't affected the Kop either, who chanted and cajoled Liverpool to a 3-1 victory over Chelsea. 2 more goals for Robbie Fowler after Liverpool had gone 1 down. The 3rd goal from Neil Ruddock. It had proved to be a handy night's work.
You're not smiling much.
I've just been. No, I don't think I score goals, but no, there's more to football than scoring goals. Like, so, no, I'm not happy with the way I'm playing. You know, I've scored all them goals there, but I'm not happy with the way I'm playing.
You can play better, yeah?
Yeah, I think I can play a lot better. So when I start playing better, you see a smile on my face then.
It showed the players had their mind focused on the game and nothing else as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, whatever's gone on, all we have to do is concentrate on playing football for Liverpool Football Club. It's an exciting time. We are now 3rd, hopefully. I'm not sure how the other results went tonight. But after being in the doldrums for the last 3 years, it's important that we keep up a challenge, and there's nothing that's going to get in the way of that, hopefully, on or off the pitch.
Jim, they'd have to say they were focused on the game tonight, but you must know.
You asked me 24 hours ago, and you said to me that Bruce was involved in a scandal of this kind. I would have laughed it off. I would have thought, no way. But I must admit, having watched the programmes today, listened to all the evidence that was coming in, it's pretty serious against him. It's pretty strong stuff, and I just don't know what to think at the moment.
You played at the top level, obviously. Is it easy to con your fellow professionals and throw a match and get away with it?
Well, that's unbelievably difficult for me to answer. I think you need to be in that situation. You need to try it. I think if you had outfield players, you need more than one involved. You need probably 2 or 3 defenders together in it. But I think the player on the pitch that would have most opportunity of doing it is a goalkeeper, because he's the last line of defence. If he's going to make a mistake, well, it's irretrievable. The ultimate punishment, giving away a goal.
Of course, 3 outfield players were accused and found guilty for Sheffield Wednesday 30 years ago and were subsequently jailed.
I think we'll have to wait and see what the FA can dig out first. I think the police probably won't get involved until then. Who knows? But I certainly hope for Bruce's sake that it doesn't go that far.
Listen, innocent until proven guilty is the law of the land, and Bruce has been given the go-ahead to play during the course of the inquiry. Do you think that's wise?
No, I don't. I mean, if I was in that position now, I couldn't imagine how you could possibly concentrate on football. I mean, it's not just Bruce involved here, it's his whole family that have been dragged into it as well, and I think everybody in his family must be affected by it now. I couldn't possibly think about football.
And wherever he'd go to play as well, he'd be the focal point for all the wrong reasons.
Well, I think so. I think every Tom, Dick and Harry in crowds around the country is probably going to have a little dig at Bruce now. He's going to have to put up with that as well.
Wouldn't it be lovely if it was proved to be false?
I certainly hope so, because he
has given us a lot of pleasure down the years.
Fantastic. He's a great guy, I know, on and off the pitch. Great player, great guy. I just hope it's all false allegations.
Yes, well, so say all of us. Well, Liverpool winning 3-1 tonight, so let's take a look at the top of the Premiership, and it moves them up into 3rd place, Jim, which is quite good, isn't it? I mean, they're looking pretty solid. So let's take a look at the bottom, where the same can't be said of Everton. Extraordinary run by Aston Villa. They were 3-1 up at Wimbledon tonight, you know, and they lost by 4-3. Well, there is trouble there, clearly. And it's certainly been a turbulent 24 hours on Merseyside, with Everton sacking their manager of 10 months, Mike Walker. That happened yesterday. Did that surprise you, Jim? The timing as much as anything else?
Again, the timing. I mean, Howard Kendall went after they won a game, and now Mike Walker has got 5 points out of the last 9, and they've gone and sacked him. I would have thought it would have come sooner.
Do you think that he was turning it round? That's what he said.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, 5 points out of 9 that had a dreadful run before that. The signs are that he was turning it around, but obviously...
But penalties is there threatening. Here's Steve Bold, an early touch. Oldham, though, fairly confident. They've done well at Highbury in their Premiership stint, and of course were the better side in the first game up at Boundary Park. Martin Keown hustled out of it by Nicky Banger. The Arsenal bench with John Jensen and Paul Merson on the right side there. Tony Adams. Stefan Schwartz has come very deep and well closed down by Richard Graham. And Richard Graham can take a very pleasant pat on the back for his efforts that forced Arsenal to give the ball away there. It was noticeable how well Oldham pressed Arsenal in a fortnight back, and they are doing the same here at Highbury. Although that's a little short, and Dickoff did well to charge it down, and Campbell now tries to bring it under control. And Selly's burst clear, and Nick Henry it was covering and making it sure that Gerrard didn't have to make the first save of the game. But Selly made a good run there, just tucked himself in behind the back four. And Gerrard was diving to tip it round, but in the end he needn't, because Henry it was that got in the way. And Arsenal have a corner, which there are plenty of targets, but I was going to say it's easy for Gerrard, but he let it slip out of his grasp. And this was the moment when he was a little fortunate. Drove off the back of Dickoff, then Campbell poked it through for Selly, and there's Henry getting back. Little foot up there by the outstretched foot of Paul Bernard. Free kick to Arsenal taken in a hurry. And Haller closed down by Eddie McGoldrick and then felling it. And that will be a free kick right on the edge. And the Republic of Ireland midfielder getting one of his earliest opportunities to get a touch of the ball. has a chance to possibly float a dangerous teaser in at Adams, who's made the run forward from the back post. It's gone even further than that. It's reached Dickoff, and in the end it did reach Adams, but Adams couldn't quite get a telling touch. Here's Parler. Adams has stayed up, Campbell was there, good header away by Stevie Redmond. Campbell was lurking, likes that kind of surface. Good service from the men on the flanks, and that's what he likes. Here's Eddie McGoldrick with a corner. Adams has stayed there. Comes towards Campbell, Dickoff on the turn! And it's enough! Right into the corner of the goal, and Arsenal have the lead with really their very first moments of sustained pressure. And the little fella turned brilliantly on this. The backward header, the miss hit by Campbell. Great turn that, isn't it? All credit to the forward for sneaking that in. It was floated towards the targets that had remained from the free kick. Campbell tried a little overhead, and that is an Ian Wright type finish. Adams forward. Here is McGoldrick looking to do a little thing going away from the goal, but on that occasion it didn't come off for him either. It's noticeable that as Schwartz plays that pass towards Keogh, which he has to chase, it's noticeable that McGoldrick's been booed every time he's touched the ball by the Arsenal fans. I can't imagine he's too pleased to hear that. Seaman whacking that one away. Presumably not too popular a player with the North Bank. Here's Campbell. Lovely ball. Parler on the chase. Good chase though by Macon. Great defending that. Parler's trying to close him in using the arm, and that'll be a free kick to Oldham. Good defending from Macon. Good positive run backwards to stop Parler. Banger. Adams. Great tackle. Chance for Campbell. Great tackle from Jobson. And a corner is the outcome. Superb tackling from Adams, won it, and even better from Jobson, forced the corner away. But Adams had come from, what, 40 yards away to make that challenge on Banger, and he's won himself and his team a corner. Gerrard comes, good punch. McGoldrick again. Keogh might think about a drilling shot, and he did, and it just fizzed over the bar. Not known for his scoring, but he wasn't afraid to have a pop there, was he? Laid off by McGoldrick, and you can see the gap there that just opens up, and he goes down the channel. Stefan Schwartz heading away for an Oldham throw. Haller. Good skill by Banger. Oh, fine ball too, but Macon will have to get there because Parler saw it, and Dickoff's now on the chase. Keown racing to the right to offer himself as an option. Dickoff's confident. And still, great effort. Good save by Gerrard. Campbell has it. Dickoff again. He's on fire at the moment, Dickoff. McGoldrick slips to the floor as he tried to hit it. Still though, McGoldrick, great effort. And maybe the Arsenal fans who've not been too pleased with his moments tonight will be happy with that one. But it was Dickoff that caused the danger, and Gerrard that made a fine save. Great play by the youngster. Super shot, and that's a fine save by the under-21 keeper. Campbell kept it alive. It does eventually reach the edge of the area for McGoldrick, and his skill and shot almost provided the moment that he was looking for. Here's Schwartz. There is Dickoff. Redmond on this occasion getting the ball before Dickoff could turn on it, and that's another throw-in to Arsenal as we approach the final 5 minutes of the first half. A half which Arsenal have just about had the initiative on, certainly in terms of possession, if not created chances. And they have another corner. McGoldrick with what will be a dangerous in-swinger. Well, it was supposed to be a bending in-swinger. Kept alive though. The flick away was by Bernard Dickov! Well, here's the new hero. One on the turn, and now a tremendous drive into the corner. And a smile as big as the clock end. It was Macon who got it away. Dickov had the first go, lost it in his boots, and the second go was an absolute treat. An awful time to concede a goal as you approach half-time, and how Arsenal will enjoy that moment. And in injury time at the end of the first half, can Arsenal really sink their teeth deep into Oldham? The answer's no, because Gerald Ashby says that's enough. And Arsenal can thank their new hero, Paul Dickov. 2 goals for him, one a brilliant turn, the other a superb drilled low shot. An impressive little game, an impressive little 45 minutes for him, and a dejected Oldham Athletic will have to change their tactics somewhat. Well, 2-0 down maybe, but Oldham Athletic are going for it. Rick Holden's immediately been brought into the action at half-time, and Andy Ritchie was warming up during the break, and surely he'll be introduced soon. So Joe Royal's typical Cavalier attitude is that it's not over. We shall see. But I've never known an Oldham Athletic side sit back. And really, their attitude has to be the right one. 2-0 down at, of all places, Highbury. Mark Brennan's the man who's made way for Ricky Holden. And clearly, the intention is for McCarthy and Banger to have an extra supply. Very much more of a 4-3-3 formation now for Oldham Athletic. Here's Parlodo, he's still defending to do. Manages to regain his balance. Eddie McGoldrick on the far post was loitering. Campbell was there too. And Parlo's cross is all the way to the other side, and a throw to Arsenal. Winterburn will take, having come all the way from left back to do so. Campbell. Richard Graham. McCarthy, good tackle by Adams. Jobson thumping it forward. There's Rick Holden on the chase. Keown's got to hurry up with this. And he did. And Seaman thumping it away, and Dickov penalised for pushing on Redmond. Well, there's Joe Royal, who's got another option, of course, with Andy Ritchie, but at the moment has only utilised the name of Rick Holden off the substitutes list. Rick Holden's first touch. Good skills. Just lost it in the boots a little though. Flick on by Campbell. Now Dickov can go. Look at his speed. What a busy little player. Still going. And still. Great shot. Patrick Hunting. And well, you can't blame him for having a go. What a great little game he's had tonight. Handful and a half, isn't he? Steve Redmond tried his best, but he's got a trick, he's got pace, and he's got a shot too. And the rain has now got worse. And maybe the pace will quicken up with it. Here's Schwartz, hit it well, but always going to go wide of the post that he was aiming for. And Gerrard had it covered. A good little run that by Schwartz, trying to nip round the back of Oldham. He ran some 40-50 yards to get on the end of the pass. And Campbell's little slide rule ball inside the back four found him, and Schwartz found the side netting. Well, although it's 2-0, both sides will know the importance of the next goal, which will either win the competition, or win the game rather, for Arsenal, or bring Oldham right back in it. And Sean McCarthy will make way. Not a happy night for him. And Andy Ritchie is his replacement, like for like. Two forwards. So midway through this second half, and really Oldham have had plenty of possession, but no chances, and certainly, more importantly, no goals to show for that possession. Campbell with a dangerous guided header on, and Redmond really chose the sensible option. Arsenal looking to make a substitution, trying to attract the referee's decision. They've done so. And Selly makes way for the man they call JJ here at Arsenal, John Jensen, the Danish international, entering the action. Now then, Banger has the confidence to run, has the confidence to shoot. Well, it had pace on it, but Seaman's positioning was absolutely perfect. But Oldham are definitely on the up at the moment. They've had possession, they've come forward, but still no real opportunity. And they must guard against going 3 behind. Ray Parlour, Nick Henry in the way. Optimistic shouts from the home support for handball. Dickoff, in the meanwhile, has won a free kick. And I dare not repeat my line of many times before when I say you know who are coming up from the back. The Arsenal big men. It's a low ball, and Dickoff almost stole his hat-trick. Well, the big men from the back were the decoys on that occasion. And the low free kick nearly caught Oldham out. George Graham signalling rather obviously how long he thinks is left. According to my watch, we're already in stoppage time. So possibly he was indicating the time that he felt would be added on. Well, the answer is that there was only going to be 1 minute of added time. And the hero of Highbury, the man who got the 2 goals in the first half, the man of the match tonight, without doubt, is the hero who's won it 2-0. And really, after his second goal came just before half-time, it killed off the contest. And despite Oldham's brave efforts, it's Arsenal who go on to meet Sheffield Wednesday in the Coca-Cola Cup 4th round. A final score, bleak reading, sadly, for Oldham. 2-0 to the Gunners.
Well, I said before the game to the players that the one thing that Arsenal do consistently well is set pieces, corners, free kicks. You must be alive, and they've scored 2 goals from corners, 2 free shots under no pressure, and that's disappointing really, because that apart in the game, our goalkeeper didn't have a save to me. Now they did theirs. We're not functioning very well up front at all at the moment, but having said that, you know, it was a 0-0. We weren't under any great pressure. It wasn't sustained pressure, but 2 corners and the game's lost.
I think generally Joe's very pleased that they have tightened up at the back, but the old kamikaze element showed itself again tonight. It returned.
Yeah, well, you said earlier, I think they had 3 0-0 draws in their last 4 games.
That's right.
But basic defensive errors were back on show again tonight. From the first one, corner comes in, and you can see Jobson's picking up Adams, but he heads it back towards his own goal. Campbell gets the flick on. Great turn by Dickoff. Balls in the back of the net. And for the second, bad clearance from Macon. Straight to Dickoff. Now, he missed kicks. He's able to go around Brennan, and there's 2 players looking at him, allowing him to get the shot in. And you've got to go and close him down when he's in that position. But I think Oldham have got problems up front as well. They desperately need a player to hold on to the ball, and they could do with a goal scorer against. I suppose you're really looking at maybe the likes of Mark Hughes and John Aldridge, and their problems are sorted. But they've got a few things to sort out up there too.
Don't think they could afford that, Jim. Dickoff looked very handy, didn't he? Ian came in for Ian Wright, presumably, playing up there.
Looks a good player. I mean, he had several opportunities to get his hat-trick shot over the bar, and Paul Gerrard made a great save to deny him that, so he looks a hell of a prospect for the future.
I've actually got a season ticket for Arsenal in my back pocket. Do you want to buy it?
No chance. Well, Joe commented on their set pieces before, and that's all they try and do for me. Play the balls in the corners like they did tonight. Try and pick up a throw-in, free kick, or a corner, and then they will hurt you on set pieces, but it's not for me.
You wouldn't want to watch it every week.
No, not at all.
No. Right, let's take a check on tonight's competition for you, which we promised a little earlier. Which Tranmere player scored 2 goals against Oldham in a 3-0 win in the Coca-Cola Cup last season? Was it A, Jed Brannan, B, John Aldridge, or C, Pat Nevin? 0891 40 50 80 is the number to ring. 0891 40 50 80. The lines are open until midday tomorrow. And there are 5 mitre balls to be won, and each one autographed by the players of Tranmere Rovers and Oldham Athletic. Well, the only other third division replay tonight was the one between Swindon and Brighton. The commentator is Peter Brackley.
And then by Robinson, Fjortoft. And a shake off McCarthy. He's done well here. Fjortoft. It's a goal. Prescott. Well, he took it delightfully. Brighton then were carved out. Got the perfect start here with a goal from Scott. Fjortoft. It's another one. Such awareness shown then by Jan Fjortoft. 2 goals in a minute, which have left Brighton totally stunned. Robinson in oceans of space down the right. Scott's in the middle, so is Fjortoft. This is Fjortoft now. Glorious little pass in towards Ling, and Scott! That's his second of the game, and the third for Swindon. And surely now the tie is beyond Brighton for all their spirited approach tonight. This is Chamberlain. They've got 4 up in this attack. 5 now with Peter Smith. Logan. Chamberlain. He was onside, and Brighton have pulled the goal back. Certainly they maintain their attacking principles this season, Swindon. Here's Fjortoft. That's another one. 4-1, and it's that man, Jan Fjortoft, yet again.
Yeah, looking pretty nifty. Well, there's the revised 4th round draw. Oldham would have played Sheffield Wednesday. Vying for tie of the round, Blackburn against Liverpool and Manchester City against Newcastle United. In between, Crystal Palace against Aston Villa, who lost again tonight. Norwich against Notts County. That would have been handy for Tranmere had they won. Nottingham Forest will play Millwall. Swindon against Derby County. And Bolton Wanderers travel to West Ham United. Well, tomorrow night the spotlight falls on Manchester. As United City derbies go, it's one of the most prestigious for many, many years. Rob McCaffrey.
Question: who was the last City player to score a winner against United at Old Trafford? The answer? Well, it was 20 years ago.
Lee. Pulled across for Law! Dennis has done it!
So the historical portents aren't good for Brian Horton, though his main weapon this time is another Touzle-head striker who knows what it's like to score at Old Trafford, Paul Walsh.
Paul Walsh again! The scourge of Manchester United!
The form's been very good at home, not so good away from home, even though we should have probably got a result in Coventry and didn't. I think there's a lot more positive signs at the moment, and hopefully they'll come through on Thursday.
He's been a top-class player all the time, and it's no surprise to me that he's playing so well. It's you know, he's a good player at Tottenham, he's a good player at Liverpool, and he's doing well again.
The positive news for United is the return of Peter Schmeichel. The Danish international's training again after missing the Villa game on Sunday. His experience is sure to bolster the United defence, but contrast that to the fortunes of City's number 1. The current number 2 at Sheffield United, Simon Tracy, who really can't believe he's about to step out in an Old Trafford derby.
I played in a Sheffield derby, and that was big enough, but I imagine this will be a bit bigger. Two great sets of supporters, so as I said, I'm going to go out and just enjoy the occasion.
And what great occasions they are, just ask Ian Brightwell, the only City survivor from the side that beat United 5-1 in 1989 and the scorer of one of the great derby goals at Old Trafford a year later.
Oh, what a great goal by Brightwell! A tremendous goal from the youngster.
I don't think you can bring form into any derby game, you know, whether it be Liverpool derby, Manchester derby, London derby, wherever. You know, it's who wants to win the most, and you know, looking forward to it.
But for Manchester United, this is one more big game in a series of big games, and this side is getting the feel for the defence of their Premiership once again. So much so that Paul Ince has been named Player of the Month. That's well deserved, and Alex Ferguson himself is the Manager of the Month. Perhaps a psychological boost.
Playing Barcelona, Newcastle, Blackburn, Barcelona, is the derby special after all those kind of games?
So. I think at the end of the day, derbies are derbies, and there's a local part of it. You know, the people in the city be wanting, you know, City supporters want to win, and United supporters want to win because they work beside each other the next day. They've got to again and face each other. So it makes it very important to people in Manchester.
Rob McCaffrey reporting. Back to cup football now, and of course the most realistic road to Wembley for the lower division clubs is the Auto Windscreen Shield, the old Autoglass Trophy, Freight Rover, various other titles. The sponsors may well change, but the objective remains the same. Jonathan Parry.
It was qualification night in the Auto Windscreen Shield on Tuesday, Crewe making it through by virtue of a 2-2 draw at Mansfield. The game lacked any spark at all until Wayne Collins found a little bit of space in the box on 17 minutes. Crewe looked even more comfortable partway through the second half when Ashley Ward added a second. Gareth Walley's drive and Ward on hand to nod in the rebound. Victory and qualification seemed assured. But Crewe's defensive frailty of recent weeks returned again. Darren Collier's nightmare back pass and Keith Alexander profiting for the first of 2 goals. A draw enough for Crewe though. Bury's success story continues, this time at the expense of Preston. Despite missing some key players through injury, Bury still had the man who mattered. Mark Sartori scoring a neat goal on his debut, and 1 goal was enough. Meanwhile, Graham Barrow's Wigan produced the win they needed over Blackpool. Blackpool only needing a draw, but losing out to Mark Leonard's header after only 3 minutes. Finally something to cheer at Springfield Park.
Well, these are the competition prizes, the 5 mitre balls. Let's take a reminder which Tranmere player scored 2 goals against Oldham in a 3-0 Coca-Cola Cup win last season. Was it A. Jeb Brannan, B. John Aldridge, or C. Pat Nevin? 0891 4-0, 5-0, 8-0 is the number to ring. The lines are open until midday tomorrow. From Jim and myself, good night.